What is your never again brand, store, restaurant, or company? I took my beaterwoods truck to a local tire shop for an alignment. They told me they couldn't align it because I had a sticky U-joint, and then charged me for an hour of labor because they had to take the tie rods off. I argued, because A, U-joints don't impact alignment, and B, there was about an inch of grime on the castle nuts, so there's no way the tie rods came off. They brought out a manager who just made shit up about how alignments work. I am a mechanical engineer. I think they thought they could get away with it because I am female. Nope. I filed a complaint with the state and they were fined for lying about service costs. Good for you. I hate people who take advantage because they think their customers don't know any better. I bought an engine from AutoZone for a vehicle I owned. They had a vendor build the engine, and it was supposed to ship to my house. I waited 3 weeks for it to arrive, but it never did. I contacted their store, was told that it hadn't shipped yet and was coming via FedEx freight. I kept up with the tracking hash but couldn't get anywhere with it. I kept calling back every couple of days to see what was going on, and no one could figure it out. I finally managed to find out that it had shipped via another company, RL Freight, and had been delivered to somewhere else. It was like pulling teeth to get a refund on an engine I never received. It took another 2 weeks to get the refund. I won't buy a soda from AutoZone now. Yeah, I got 3 bad starters in a row from the monsieur. I thought I was losing my fucking mind. 4th came from a dealership and it's still in the truck 4 years later. A bar I went to on my 25th birthday. I got there first and opened a tab to get my first couple of drinks before my friends showed up and started buying for me. At the end of the night I went to get my bill, which should have been under $20. Instead, I got a single piece of paper with a total of $85. It did not come with an itemized slip. Edit. For the people who can't gather this from context, that was unusual. All the times I'd gone to the bar before, I got itemized receipts. All of my friends that night got itemized receipts when they closed out. I spent 20 minutes on my birthday at the bar, calling out the bartender's name, asking for an itemized receipt, while he pretended he could neither see nor hear me. I went home and reached out to management and explained the story to them, including how long I tried to get his attention. Her reply: if you thought there was an issue with your receipt, you should have asked the bartender to explain it to you. Never again. Case anyone cares. It's Penn Social in DC. Edit. Since this seems to be coming up a lot, this is America, so not chip and pin. They won't serve you unless they first swipe your credit card. I could not simply leave without paying. It was going to be charged to me no matter what. My experience with disputing charges is that it's not super convenient, so I was really hoping to be able to deal with this at the bar without having to do that. So please don't be one of the 337 people who have told me I would have just left. Edit. Thank you for the silver, kind stranger. If anyone else wants to do the same, please donate the money to a charity instead, or just give it to a homeless person. Fuck that. Hope you disputed the charge. If I see something is being shipped by On Track, I'll cancel. The 3 times they were the delivery company from Amazon, they lost one package completely and tried to say it wasn't their fault. The second package was also deemed lost but then showed up on my doorstep something like 6 weeks later. The 3rd time it sat on a shipping label created for a week and I just contacted Amazon and canceled the package. You don't find a lot of positive reviews out there, and any positive ones you do find seem like they were written by the company via a fake account. Every package I've ever had stolen was shipped via On Track. They claimed it was delivered and I never find it. One time I looked with minutes of its supposed delivery. Yeah, sure, maybe the residents of my apartment complex are shady, but UPS, FedEx, and USPS never seem to have this issue. On Track regularly marks my packages as delivered without coming anywhere near my house. I always have to call and complain, and they have to come back the next day. I've had them pretend to find the package in my front yard after I watched them leave the car with it. I used to work for On Track. They would usually have us deliver over 200 stops a day, and if we asked for help because we weren't going to finish on time, they would usually just say to mark it as delivered and try again the next day instead of sending someone to help out. Most days I would get to work at 5 a.m. and not finish until almost midnight. On Track truly is a shit company. Chili's. I don't know how this even happens, but I was served fried chicken that was cold and literally had ice on it. Edit. To anyone reading this later on, I want you to know that Chili's PR staff has contacted me trying to smooth things over. Yeah, right. Chili's serve me frozen food and I'd rather trash them forever than be sweet-talked with a gift card. Well, it's not called Warmies, dude. Best idea ever for a restaurant. A wall of microwaves and a wall of TV dinners. Warmies. For when life gives you the cold shoulder. Frontier Internet. They're one of the shittiest ISPs I've ever had. I will never go back, no matter how cheap it is. Okay, so we have your internet hooked up. Wait, I only get 1 megabit per second for $60 a month. Up to. The speeds are up to 30 megabits per second. So I had 4 no-show installations and took off 5 days of work for 1 megabit per second internet. Quote. Yeah, I guess so. This is a true story that happened in a small Midwest town approximately 3 years ago. It's ludicrous that internet providers are allowed to refer to their internet speeds like this. Oh, your speed is up to 30 megabits per second. Well then I'll pay you up to $60 per month, okay? Here's $1. That's so unfair of you. It should at least be $2, so that's proportional. I almost switched from Comcast to Frontier for just cable only. My install day came and I was given a 4-hour window. And no one showed up. I waited around for 2 hours after the window and then finally called. They said, oh, the installer got busy and we need to reschedule. We can do it 2 weeks from now. I told them to cancel my installation because it didn't really seem like they wanted my business. A company's got to a special kind of fucking incompetent to make Comcast the preferable option. Fucking AT&T, it's one thing after another with these assholes. They've been taking $60 a month from my checking account for the last 7 months for a prepaid phone that I don't have. They can't tell me why or take me off auto draft because I don't have a phone number to look up the phone that I don't own. Just spent almost an hour at the bank trying to dispute this shit. It's just the most recent in a long list of fuckery caused by AT&T. Those twats. I work in the electronics industry. With your brief summary, if it's safe to assume your identity has been compromised, I'd review your credit history thoroughly and lock down the bank account you referenced. If I'm right, I am sorry. But you are also fortunate that they only got a prepaid phone. Panera. They raised prices and shrank their portions a while ago. Not worth it anymore. Wayfair. Delivered a wooden table that had a huge split on the side and was broken where you put the leaf to extend the table. Got 4 redeliveries and every single time it was the exact same table with the same damage. Eventually got a full refund, but did they seriously think that would work? Makes zero sense to me. Bonus. Ordered a bedroom set around the same time and paid for delivery and assembly. The assemblers were 2/3 through the assembly and told me they couldn't finish because they couldn't understand the instructions. Had them take all the stuff back and also got a refund. I had some fairly expensive furniture delivered from Art Van before and noticed a pretty big scuff where the laminate was chipped off the side of a computer hutch. This was the mid-90s, lol. Anyway, they said they'd get another from the truck, which I found really implausible, and sure enough they were gone for 10 minutes before coming back with the same hutch, except they had colored in the chipped area with a brown marker. I made some interesting phone calls after that one. Spirit Airlines. Never again. Fuck them, monsieur. Flight from Vegas got cancelled. They don't even bother trying to put you on another flight. Not only that, you have to pay extra for the next flight available. I told them they can go fuck themselves and I want a refund. The customer service person told me he can refund me Spirit credit. That's when I lost it. After enough bitching, he gave me my money back to my credit card and I bought a flight on Delta. Edit. Thanks for the silver kind person. After my experience, I made it a point to go on several review sites and made a PSA to never fly Spirit again. This was one of many incidents I have had to deal with them. This one just broke me because I was flying back from Vegas. I can only handle Vegas for 2 nights. After that I want the fuck out of there. Having to stay there another night was not something I wanted to do. Also, it was not weather related as they told me. No other flights into Detroit that day were cancelled. I checked. I even told that to the customer service agent. He shrugged it off. I said this about another Spirit complaint in this thread. All Spirit Airlines flights should be non-stop and one-way. Fuck Comcast. Comcast, a door-to-door salesman, straight up lied to my dad, saying they had a 4DVR setup that would cost less than what we were paying AT&T. When the installation guy got there, he said that no, they didn't have a 4DVR setup. He was told to give us the standard 2DVR setup, which was absolutely not something that would work in a house with 6 people with wildly different tastes in TV shows. So my dad tells him, never mind, we're sticking with AT&T then. But because the Comcast guy had already installed our new cable box, he couldn't take it back with him. So we had to mail it back to Comcast ourselves. The kicker is, 5 years later Comcast tried to bill my parents for the cable box, saying we never sent it back. My parents insisted they did, and Comcast wanted the UPS receipt, which obviously we no longer had because it was 5 years ago and we hadn't heard anything from them before this. So my parents refused to pay. Comcast sent a collections company after us. And when my parents explained the situation to the collection company, they were like, those fuckers, we'll take care of this. That was, thankfully, the end of it. Probably the nicest collections agency you'll ever see. That happens so rarely, where they will do anything but hound you for payment. Tony's Pizza Palace, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, September 26, 1986 was the day I buried my infant son. He was 11 months old and died from complications due to being born 3 months premature. His twin brother is healthy and got married 3.5 years ago. After returning from the burial ceremony to the funeral home, we went out to our cars and found flyers tucked under the windshield wipers. Having a family get-together? Why not have it at Tony's Pizza Palace? Ask about our group discounts. Edit. I thought I should add this. Tony's happens to be 1 block away from the funeral home, 3 blocks from the second biggest hospital, and about 10 blocks away from the second biggest shopping mall in the city. All of which are in a straight line. I figure some 17-year-old kid, working part-time for Tony's, was given a pile of flyers and asked to put them on cars at the mall. The kid, not thinking, saw all the cars and probably started at the funeral home, then went to the hospital parking lots and was probably out of flyers before he even got to the mall. I seriously doubt anyone in management, or perhaps I hope that nobody at Tony's was aware that this happened. But it happened on a day that I won't forget, and I still haven't gotten past it. Yikes. What if the flyers were put there by Alfredo's Pizza Cafe to try to ruin Tony's business? 1,800 flowers. Fuck the monsieur. They waited several days after I placed an order for Mother's Day to tell me that they wouldn't be able to fulfill the order. They waited until the day before, putting me in a bad position. Now I Google my mom's zip, add flowers, and have a few choices. I call the local shops directly and DQ 1,800 flowers is cut out of the process. TurboTax. Did my return Got a notice that my file needed to be corrected. Logged back in to fix it and my return wasn't there anymore. 6 hours on the phone with 3 tiers of tech support, each one trying exactly the same thing. Finally they were just trying random shit. So I tried random shit in parallel. Managed to get to my return with the invoice number from paying for the service without logging in. Tried to get them to understand that this was a very bad thing that they should report to someone. And they told me they had no access to anyone technical and no way to submit bugs. This from the company that lobbied to make it illegal for the government to offer tax filing service. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.